Nice to have you with us. I'm Art Lewis. Later on, we're going to talk to Diane Keenan from the Eastside Soup Kitchen about a big event they have coming up on Thanksgiving Day. And at 11 o'clock, SVRC Marketplace will be the subject of our thoughts. But this morning, it's kind of a food morning. Everything relates to food that we talk about this morning. First of all, from the Saginaw Community Food Club and Kitchen, and I didn't know there was a kitchen attached. We'll find out about that this morning. She is Tina Swanton. Tina, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. And from the Saginaw County Health Department WIC program, Susan Olgvin is with us this morning. Susan, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks
for
being
having us
with
here,
us.
too.
You bet. Let's start with the Health Department and the WIC program. That's been around a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, WIC is 50 years old last year.
So give us an overview of what the WIC program is all about and how it works.
So WIC is a supplemental food program, and the money comes from USDA to the states, and it serves low and middle income women, infants, and children. That's where WIC comes from. And we provide healthy foods every month. Nutrition education, breastfeeding education and support, and then referrals to other programs in the community that may be helpful to that client.
And has there been a supply side problem getting food these days?
I guess some items maybe. It just probably depends on the store and what brands they're carrying. When Michigan rules changed about the eggs, we didn't have a problem here, but some of the stores and communities closer to borders, southern border, northern border, because their eggs may come across the state lines, that was a little problem for them. During COVID, yes, there were.
Well, COVID, everybody had a problem with everything.
For sure, yeah.
No doubt about it. And the Saginaw Community Food Club and Kitchen, Tina, this was your brainchild, wasn't it?
I was part of the initial startup, yes. A group from the Food Access Collaboration Team of Saginaw, known as FACS. A multitude of organizations come together, have conversations, and it really came out of that group that Saginaw County was really good in the emergency food system, but we were really lacking in serving our ALICE population, so asset limited, income constrained, and employed. And so from a model in Grand Rapids that's celebrating 10 years this year is where the food club came out of. However, this will, yes, be the first on the east side of the state. There are 3 currently on the west, but ours will be the first with an educational and commercial kitchen attached.
So let's talk about the WIC program first. How does someone become a recipient of that? What's required?
First, be pregnant, breastfeeding, postpartum woman, or infant, child under 5. Medicaid, SNAP, and TANF recipients automatically qualify. So those are other federal assistance programs for insurance and food help and maybe some cash assistance. And then people can qualify based on their income as well. So like a family of 4, if they make less than, it's 59,000 something every year, the income guidelines get reset
compared to what it used to be.
Yeah. So less than 59,000 and some change there can qualify as well.
And how do they apply?
They just give WIC a call. Yep, 989-758-3733. Yep.
At the Saginaw County Health Department.
Yep.
It's part of the health department.
Yes.
They oversee the program.
Right.
You oversee the program.
Yep. And then if they go to apply for Medicaid, SNAP, or TANF on the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services website, there is an option there if you're interested in WIC, and then that will give us a direct referral through the system.
And the food club, first of all, is it open yet?
It is not. So we're currently under construction. The building should be done around the end of January.
Which is where?
It is at 310 Meredith, so it's just off Washington. It sits right in front of the My Michigan Hospital along the railroad tracks. We anticipate to be open spring of 2026.
And what will the food club provide?
So the food club will be set up like a general grocery store, a smaller scale. We will not have a full aisle of candy and chips, and it's really going to focus on healthier foods. Although when you walk in, it will look like your general grocery store. It'll just be set up with a different pricing model. So people will pay a membership fee, which is a sliding scale based on their income. Then, depending on the amount of people in your household, determines how many points you receive to shop with. So if somebody comes in with 6 kids compared to 2 kids, person with 6 kids needs more groceries, they get more points to shop with. Then none of the food has a price tag on it. It's all set up on a point system from 1 to 6 points, with the healthier food being lower points.
So you get these points. You pay for your membership,
Correct.
and it's a sliding scale.
Correct.
But you don't use money in the store.
You are correct.
You use points. And the points are distributed how often? Like I sign up today, when do I get my points?
You would get them the same day. The points are good for the month. Your membership
So
is
you
monthly.
get a month's worth of points,
Correct.
and every month you pay the fee.
Yes.
And compared to going and shopping in a grocery store, I'm saving a lot of money, I would assume.
Yeah, so the sliding scale that you pay for your membership is somewhere between $12 and $19 a month. Whereas, a family right now could go and spend $200 for the week of food,
Don't need
right?
a family. A single person can do that. So you get these points, you shop. No limitation on how much you shop. The limitation is on how many points you spent.
Correct.
So you have to kind of budget your points.
Yeah, so the grocery store, the food club as a grocery store is not set up, though, to be your only place to shop. It's supposed to be a gap filler. So the majority of our potential members would also qualify for, let's say, SNAP benefits. So they would be able to use their bridge card for their SNAP benefits at Meijer, Kroger,
Right.
Walmart, wherever. But 80% of those assistance dollars are used up in the first 2 to 3 weeks of the month, always leaving a gap, which then they fall back on the emergency food system of having to run to a pantry or sit in a line for a food distribution in order to have enough food to make it to the next time that they have their assistance dollars. And based on what happened, in November when the government shuts down and SNAP benefits are frozen, again, our problem is not the fact that it froze, the assistance dollars. The problem is the system is broken to begin with, for that 40,000 plus people in Saginaw County are relying on SNAP benefits. And to know at any point somebody's rug can be pulled out from underneath them is a much bigger problem.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back, and talk more with our guests. It's the holiday season, and a lot of thought about food at the holiday time for those that can afford and those that can't. We will be back to talk more about it.
Join us for the kickoff.
This is a test of the emergency.
We're back with you here on WSGW. In studio with me, Tina Swanton. She's with the Saginaw County Community Food Club and Kitchen, which will open next year. Susan Olgman, she is with Saginaw County Health Department in the WIC program. Tina, you're building a new building. This is going to be a new grocery store, sort of, if you will, and a kitchen. I'm interested in the kitchen part. Why the kitchen in a grocery store?
Yeah, so when you look at the emergency food system, about 40% of that food ends up being wasted for one reason or another. And one of those reasons is if something ends up in that box and you don't know what to do with it, you're not going to use it, right? And so if you start putting healthy options on the shelves for people to select or have a choice from, if they don't know how to cook an eggplant or what an eggplant is, they're not going to select it. And so if you want people to select healthier options, you also need to teach them how to store it and prepare it and cook it and make it taste good so that they actually want to eat it. So we will provide nutrition education and cooking education in the kitchens, both through community partners to be able to expand current programs that they have, but also directly to the community and potential members who would be shopping there.
So I asked you this off the air, but it's a brand new building. How was all this funded?
Yeah, so it was a fundraising campaign with a mixture of funds from USDA grants, ARPA funding from the city and the county, local grants, state grants, community foundations, private foundations, and individuals.
Paid for fully?
No, we still have a slight gap. So we are still currently fundraising. I think we have about 500 to 600,000 left to raise.
Out of how much?
6.5 million.
Not an inexpensive project, is it? Nothing in construction
Nothing's
is.
cheap anymore, right?
So where do you get the food from?
Yeah, so the majority of the food, ideally about 60%, will be either rescued or donated. A major partner will be the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan, along with local growers. There's also a business-to-business model through a large chain grocery store. So a variety of different ways, but then also, depending on what's still needed on the shelves, could be purchased.
You don't know what you're going to get from day to day, right?
So the staple items, we will ensure that there are orders. So we will always have milk and bread and something for produce. You never know necessarily what's going to come in for produce. But any of the extras outside of the staples, then that could vary.
And the WIC program, Susan, is funded how?
Through USDA.
It's a federal program.
Yeah, it's a grant to all the states. And then for Michigan, it comes to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and then it goes out to the different counties or agencies that have a WIC program.
And where does your food come from?
Our food is all at authorized vendors. So these are stores that have applied to the Michigan WIC program to be a vendor. So all your big stores like Meijer, Kroger, Walmart all take WIC. But then there's a host of other small stores, even corner stores.
So when you say take WIC, you don't really supply the food directly.
No.
You supply like a credit card almost,
So
right?
we have an EBT, electronic benefits transfer card, just like using a debit card. And those benefits get loaded onto the card. The client will get 3 months of benefits at a time with a start and an end date. And then it lists all the quantity of the food items they get each month. And then we have a food guide book that gives you the details of the rules of what you could get for those foods.
That's where I
right?
was heading next. You often wonder what people are buying with their WIC card, for
Yeah, so
example.
WIC is very different than SNAP. SNAP, they get a dollar amount to buy food.
Anything they want.
And they choose what those items are, right? WIC is only allows healthy foods, and they're picked based on the nutrients they provide.
So someone with a WIC card goes to the store, shops off the shelves, gets to the cash register. As they're ringing things up, how do they know whether it's WIC approved or not?
The
Or
cashier
does the card automatically reject those
yeah,
items?
it would. The UPC codes would pick
Okay.
up what's a WIC food and what's not a WIC food. Yes, yeah.
So the WIC card will pay for the
Yes.
thing that's approved, and the rest of it becomes a cash purchase if they
Right.
want it.
Yeah, if they want it. Yep. And so, there's quite a bit of education and teaching our participants how to use their benefits. Is a little bit of a learning curve, but once you start doing it, it's easier.
You
Yeah.
get used to it. You
Yeah.
know what there is.
Exactly.
There's not.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the SNAP program. How is it different? They just get money?
Yeah, SNAP is just a dollar amount, I believe, based upon how many are in the household and what their income is.
And no rules on what they can buy and not buy.
That
That
I'm
you
not
know of.
as familiar with. I believe that it just has to be a food item. I think there's some rules that might be changing about soda, pop, and things like that. But I'm not exactly sure. I just read things myself. So
And at the food club when it opens, you won't have to worry about those things because you only have things on the shelves that are approved by you, right?
Yeah. So if somebody were to donate, a box of bagged chips, we would put it on the shelf, but that's not considered like a staple item that we would ensure that we always have bags of chips.
Okay. So it's not that it won't be there. You're not going to put it there.
Correct.
You're not going out and seeking junk food, for example.
Right. So if we're going to
lack of a better
purchase,
term.
if we're going to purchase food to ensure certain items on the shelf, it would be healthy, nutritious options, not snacks and junk.
And who on staff determines the nutrition? Is there a nutritionist or?
Yeah, so we will have a nutrition educator on staff with the food club as well. And as far as the food goes, the staple items, to have rice and pasta and milk and eggs. And not to say that all of our rice and pasta has to be whole grain, but to have that as an option for a healthier choice, we would do that as well.
So is it going to be staffed or is it volunteers? How are you going to keep this business running and how often are you open?
So both. We will have some staff, probably equivalent to about 4 or 5 full-time people. Majority of those positions would actually be made up of multiple part-time, but equivalent to 4 to 5 full-time. And then the rest would be volunteer. We are looking at being open 6 days a week. Set hours are not specifically determined yet. We have been reaching out and asking the community when do they want to see us open. It looks like we will probably do like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like a 10 to 6, whereas Tuesday and Thursday, maybe we open a little later and stay open later into the evening, and then a partial day on either Saturday or Sunday.
And when do you anticipate starting to sell memberships?
We are looking to open our doors in the spring. We will not sell memberships until we are open because they would be able to start their membership, start shopping the day that they start their membership.
Open and stocked.
Yes.
All right, we'll take a break. Be back with our guests. It's the holidays. We talk food for those in need. Let me take a moment to talk about Quick Lane Freeland on the McDonald Ford property. This is where you should be thinking about tires because they sell all their tires at just $5 over cost. And one of the things you need to learn about is the fact that there are winter tires, and they are different than the tires you drive on year-round. Here to tell you about it from Quick Lane Freeland is John.
Hello, Art. Yes, winter tires are made with a pliable rubber compound that includes silica to stay flexible and maintain grip in freezing temperatures. Unlike harder all-season tires, which stiffen and lose traction in the cold, this flexible compound allows the tire to better conform to the road surface, providing superior grip and traction on snow and ice to keep you safe.
Thanks, John. Stop in to Quick Lane Freeland, take a look at their tires, have them check yours, and while you're there, have them check your cooling system, too, for the winter ahead. And then right there on the property, McDonald Ford has all the latest Fords for you and an extensive lineup of pre-owned vehicles to fit any budget. Stop in today and visit them at Quick Lane Freeland and McDonald Ford. 2 names standing ready to help you with all your automotive needs.
The ovens are hot, and so are the...
Here on WSGW, and with us, Tina Swanton from Saginaw Community Food Club and Kitchen, which is going to open in the spring. Susan Oldbin, Saginaw County Health Department with the WIC program. Before we get on to something for Susan, Tina, you keep mentioning this waste in the food distribution system. How big is it?
So we have a ton of food across America, and we have a lot of organizations who do amazing work trying to rescue and redistribute food. So our food banks are doing that. Locally, Hidden Harvest does that. But there are times where there could be a semi-load of produce or mixed produce, and they're trying to find a home for it. And if someplace like the food bank is maxed out for storage, cooler space, doesn't have enough drivers, whatever it is, we have trucking companies who are paying to have those semi-loads of produce dropped at a waste station. I mean, we are using dollars to throw food away. So our problem is not the amount of food to feed people. Our problem is getting people access to the food and the affordability of food.
My mind works in strange ways sometimes. I'm saying to myself, why was a truck of cabbage loaded without a destination? Why do you have a truck running around with a load of cabbage and nowhere to drop it? Wasn't there a business assigned to that truck that says you're taking this cabbage to business A?
Yes, and it might be that it goes to business A, and if there's discoloration or something for one reason or another that maybe a store says, okay, that's not to the level we want to put on our shelf, they will turn the truck away. And so then we need to find a home for it because it's still edible and usable, just maybe not to the look of what the store wants to accept. Could be one reason.
Yeah. Okay, I'll buy that. Because I couldn't see a truck leaving a terminal heading nowhere. Just made no sense. Okay, you have an event coming up, I hear tell. Susan?
Yeah, so the Saginaw County Health Department WIC program, we are on the Saginaw Community Breastfeeding Coalition. So the coalition hosts support groups, or what we call breast milk circles. And so every first Tuesday, we are at Buttman Fish Library from 11 to 12. The third Tuesday of every month, we are at Hoyt Library from 11 to 12. And then we have a nighttime breast milk circle at Zoll Library. That one varies which day we're there, just based on availability of the room, but it's always from 6 to 7. So this is just a place for breastfeeding families or pregnant women who want to breastfeed, just a place to come and talk with others in their community, get some support. It doesn't mean you have to have a problem to come to a support group. It just means you want to be around some like-minded people. And, if you're a stay-at-home mom, or just a parent who's getting a little overwhelmed, there's some people there to come and talk to.
And how long has this been going on?
Over a year. Yeah, over a year.
The health department, we think of a health department, we think of shots, and we think of that stuff. There's a lot more that goes on inside that building in there.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of programs.
You're going to get a new building too one of these times.
I'm hearing that. Yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
Yep. We'll take a break, come back, and finish up with our guests.
It's a joy to watch your kids.
And we are back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. We're talking to Tina Swanton, Saginaw Community Food Club and Kitchen, and Susan Oldman. She is with the Saginaw County Health Department WIC program. So Tina, this food this food club notion of buying a membership, getting points to spend. When someone comes to you, how is it determined how many points they're going to get, what they're going to get for their money, and how much it's going to cost them?
Yeah, so the The price of the membership is a sliding scale based on their income, and so
And it was
we
only
have
a few dollars difference. You said
Yes.
$15 to $19, something like that.
12 to 19.
12 to 19.
Yeah, and so depending on how many people in their household and how much they make, then it falls, and it's a chart we have listed on our website if somebody wants to know how much that they would pay for the month.
What's the website?
Oh, SaginawFoodClub.org.
Simple. Okay.
And then how many people are in their household then determines how many points they're given. And so that's all part of that same chart. So if somebody wants to know how much am I going to have to pay when I sign up and how many points am I going to shop with, it's all posted for them on the website. The first time they come in, it's kind of like a one-page application, and it's truly on the honor system for that first round for them to tell us how much are they making in their household, how many kids do they have. And then during that first month of their membership, before they renew, they then need to bring in proof of income and how many dependents they actually have, right? And so it can be a variety of things, whatever works for their family, of how they determine to show us that. It might be, here's my kid's ID card from school, right? I can show you I have 3 kids. Just so that somebody coming in isn't going to say, well, I don't have any income, and everybody all of a sudden has 8 children, right? And so the first time, yes, it's on an honor system, but then over that month's time, they then need to show us how much they're making and how many people live in their household.
Is there an income cap? By that I mean you make X number of dollars, you're not eligible to use the food club.
So we are able to serve up to 200% of the poverty line, and that is because one of our major partners is the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan, and that is their threshold of who can get their food.
And what's the poverty line today?
That's a great question.
Keeps moving.
Yeah, I think our threshold at 200% for like a family of 4 is 65,500 or 65,300, something like that.
So people above that are not eligible to come in and use it.
Correct.
I asked that on purpose because
Yeah, so
I
they're
don't want to
not,
see somebody making $100,000 a year taking food off a shelf that could go to someone who's making 30.
Correct. So they wouldn't be able to come in as a member to shop at the food club, but they are eligible to come in and utilize any of our programs. So if we're offering nutrition education programs or
that's-
things in the
yeah.
kitchen, that can be open to anybody, and that
that's
really
not
can.
taking away anything
Correct.
from anybody.
They just can't shop at the food club as a grocery store.
Yeah,
about
because
that.
I mean, there are a lot of people making over $100,000 a year that don't know what to do in the kitchen.
Correct.
One has nothing to do with the other.
Yes.
After doing a food show for 30 some odd years on this radio station, I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
And the WIC program, is there a cutoff on the WIC, income wise?
Well, so for like I said, a family of 4, it's like 59,000. So if you're above that, you wouldn't qualify. But there are times where people might have a higher income and maybe they do have Medicaid for health insurance. They probably wouldn't have SNAP or TANF, but
What is TANF?
TANF is cash assistance. So these are people who like need help with their rent and things like that.
Eating,
It's not used very often, but some people do have it. I think there's some requirements about going to Michigan Works, things like that. But like if an infant was born preterm and they spent some time in the NICU, that infant may receive Medicaid to help with those costs. And then if the infant has Medicaid, and then the household would qualify. Now it's only for that time period, the infant for the first year, right? And then they would have to, every year we certify. So that means we want to look at your income again or the other ways you could qualify. So
every year there's an examination
Right.
of
Yep.
what's happening and who you are. And
Yep.
yeah. So let's talk about websites. Again, yours, Tina,
Is SaginawFoodClub.org.
and you expect to open in the spring of next year.
Yes.
And you'll be open 6 days a week?
That's our goal.
Hours, do you know yet?
We don't have exact hours yet, but we are thinking Monday, Wednesday, Friday would be more of like a 10 to 6, whereas Tuesday and Thursday we would open later and then stay open later into the evening, and then a partial day either Saturday or Sunday.
And the WIC program, how do they get a hold of you?
So through the Saginaw Public Health.org website, that's the health department's website, there's a tab for clinics, and you can find WIC there. We also have Facebook and Instagram at WIC Saginaw. Or they can call us, 989-75